Hello, I'm Forrest and I've got a problem. My guest today is Al Jackson, a fan favorite. I'm just saying that to make you feel good. No one's ever written to me and said, "Oh no, that's not true." A couple people have definitely written about you and said they liked you. He's a comedian and television show host and a podcaster and a music producer and does, I don't know, every week you're coming up with something new. But those things are legit. You've done those,
dude. You know what's happening? You know what's weird is my co-host on my podcast, Friends from Work, with Tori Shulman. Watch it every day on YouTube, streaming live. She just came over and we got into this argument about candy on the show and started going back and forth of which candy sucks and which doesn't. She said Milk Duds sucked, and I, stood up, 10 toes down from Milk Duds. But maybe this weird addiction that I have now is like, I made a little bit of animation with candy, and then I realized I could turn candy into action figures. And then I turned those action figures into a music video in which a little kid is playing PlayStation, eating candy, and lightning hits the house, and the action figures become players that you can play on like a Mortal Kombat imaginary video game that I made. So that's what happens when you stop drinking. You have time to do that.
And a small town lost all of its water thanks to the AI servers needing to be cooled. Or, you're contributing to climate change for sure, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to mention that. I was going to mention this. I have this stuff down here. Friends from Work show. You just mentioned it with your co-host, Tori Shulman, who I was going to say, I've never met Tori in person. I think we've made fun of you together, like in the comment section or like secretly before, which is fun. And I was like, I think I would be friends with Tori. I think I'd like her. And then you said the Milk Dud thing, and I think I'm out. So sorry, Tori.
Yeah, well, I mean, her point was valid. Her point was like they're hard to chew, and like unless you get some, every once in a while you'll get Milk Duds that aren't hard to chew, and you're like, oh, these must have just come off the factory line. But there's some Milk Duds that are so hard to chew that you know that they are at least 15 years old. You have to come to terms with that, and you still eat them, but you know the truth. Don't live a lie.
Yeah, well,
and so that's what we got in an argument about.
All candy is hard to chew. Chocolate is not hard to chew, but candy it's caramel and whatever the hell nougat is, and there's always nuts in there. I crack a tooth. Yeah. But go and subscribe to their YouTube channel. They're always putting out content like every week, tons of it. And Al's got a YouTube channel too with his stand-up on it. Al Jackson on YouTube, at Al Jackson. I got links to all this. And then go to his Instagram, at Al Jackson IG. Al Jackson Instagram, because he's an old man and thought he should put IG at the end of it, so hey, this is Instagram.
Somebody already had Al. Dude, you don't even know the half of it. I've been in a constant battle. There is a children's author, a female children's author, I'm assuming white woman, named A.L. Jackson, A.L. Jackson. And every once in a while, I'll get like a 13-year-old girl DMing me, love your books. I'm like, get out of here. You're not Epsteining me. Yeah. So like she snatched up a whole bunch of handles. So when I meet her, I'm going to probably just give her an unkind word.
She is definitely white. I'm looking at her. Single mom, fake marriage, grumpy recluse, and sunshine wallflower. Morally gray hero. This doesn't look like a children's book, though. But the name of the book's called Blue Horizon.
I think she makes like tweener books, like Judy Blume used to.
Yeah, contemporary romance, it says. Yeah. Here's an overview on Google Books. Robin Hood meets Son of Anarchy. Dark elements and a ton of spice. A.L. Jack. It looks like Al Jack. Like when you're just looking at it,
dude.
It looks like.
So like I've always had to like get those weird names where it's like Forrest USA 301, and you're like, I don't want that. It's like, do you want Al Jackson 735? No. So it's a bitch when you can't get your name as a handle.
Yeah, I mean, and your name is such a, like there's a lot of people with the name Al Jackson on top of it. Plus Alan Jackson always comes up for you as well. And he's written books as well. He's written books on the side.
Has he really? God damn, has he done stand up? Let me find out Alan Jackson's doing open mics. It's really
Country.
interesting because I had Al Jackson on Twitter, which was awesome. Do you know how great that is to just be on a radio show? Find me at Al Jackson, Facebook at Al Jackson. But then Twitter imploded, and then TikTok, I couldn't get Al Jackson, so I was Al Jackson 24/7, which makes me sound like I'm a party promoter. And then TikTok went away. So now I'm just down to Al Jackson IG, which I hate.
By the way, A.L. Jackson isn't even, her name is Amy Lichtenhan, but she goes by A.L. Jackson as her pseudonym.
That ruined, like, dude. Yeah.
So it's A.L. for her name, and then she just did Jackson. And one of the, it says writer of steamy romance, and one of the book covers here for The Brink of Bliss, there's a guy shirtless about to embrace clock lips with a woman. It says, "Oh, you are asking for trouble," and it says, "You certainly have a wife." So I guess it's a cheating, but I don't know what's going on there.
Wait, what's the name of the book?
It's called
At the Brink of Bliss.
On the Brink of Bliss.
Yes. It's
this is not, I don't think these are tweeners. I think you just think
no, this is not a tweener. There's a picture of a guy that looks like Jason Momoa with some warrior chick. Yeah, it's I'm
gonna write there and see if she's single. I'm gonna start dating her just to spite you.
Honestly, no shade. She's got 4.7 stars with 239 reviews. That's not better than anything I've ever done. Jesus.
She's got more followers.
Does she?
I think so. She's got 60-something thousand here. 60,000?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
God, early in my career, I wish that, like there are movies where some guy that's like down on his luck gets visited by like some kind of guardian angel, but he looks like a pile of shit, like he's a unhoused man or something. He's like, "Hey kid, remember, invest in Google or something," and goes away. Like I needed one of those to just be like, just pick one thing. Like this woman was like, there are a ton of suburban women whose vaginas are cold. They're never going to have sex again. They really kind of don't even want to. They just want to read about it because a lot of people are turned on by just what their brain comes up with. Good for them. But I should have just focused on that instead of just trying to be funny about everything. I should have just been like, I'm going to be funny about cutlery. And then that would be my thing. I'd be like, yo, did you hear Al said on butcher knives? Close the house. Like that's what I should have done. Specificity.
Well, that leads me into my promotion. If you're in Australia listening to us, then I know some of you are. I'll be at the Adelaide Fringe Festival. I'll be at the Adelaide Fringe. I'm there now. Actually. I've been there for a week doing The Ocean Hates You. It's a marine biology themed comedy show with trivia and giveaways, a little crowd interaction. We got videos and we got steamy videos of manatees. So, anyways, come check that out. But yeah, it also, it's funny you said that because if someone came back in time and tried to tell you why you shouldn't, like for me gambling, but for you like drinking, drugs, whatever, you think that would help? I don't think that would even help. I've heard stories about gambling, like people are like, oh, they won the lottery or they got an inheritance of like $5 million and they gambled it all. I'm like, well, I wouldn't do that. Well, guess what?
I just think almost all addictions, whether it's sex, shopping, gambling, drinking, whatever, you've said it before. You had a joke 15 years ago about how it's fun at the beginning. And it is. When you're young and drinking, it doesn't beat you up as much. There's other young people out. So like when you meet other young people and you're like 24, there's like, oh, there's 3 fun girls over here that are like in town from Baltimore and just want to hang. You don't realize that as you get older, the people get sadder. You start feeling worse. It's going to be more expensive due to inflation. And you have more shit to do at that age. But in your head, you're still 24-year-old you like, yeah, it's happy hour, bitch. I'm going. you don't realize like I think I should have drank for like 4 years and be like, that was fun. But I don't think I was capable of doing that.
There are many guests I've had on this show that stopped drinking very young, and I was always impressed by
Ugh.
the realization to be able to do that. I mean, your buddy, you know, I don't know him that well. You know him really well. I used to tour with him, Jim Norton. I mean, when did
Jim
he stop
Norton
drinking? Like
stopped
he
at
was
18.
18. I mean, and so I remember when he used to be on Opie and Anthony when Opie and Anthony existed, and I would listen to him. He would say that, well, I stopped when I was 18, and I would just as an addict, I'd be like, what, like it almost to me was like, you weren't an addict, you didn't even do all this shit. But I mean, he clearly, I mean, you know the stories about him growing up and things and stuff. Like eh, and good for him. You know, he
Yeah.
who knows where he'd be if he didn't. You know, like
Yeah.
it seems like he
Well,
was
he
headed
talks about
down
all the
at an
people he
accelerated
grew up
rate.
with and they're dead. So that's probably where he'd be. I think there are just some people that at a very young age have an ability to go outside of their body and look at themselves and just be like, you've got an addictive personality. This is not your jam. And most people, even if they know that because they are at a young age, you're very susceptible to peer pressure, pressure to fit in. So even if you know you shouldn't be drinking, even if somebody goes, "Hey, you pissed your pants," and called my mama C last time you got drunk, like they still are like, "Yeah, but I can get back." I think it's hard for young people to just see how long of a road they have and how much. I always think about like how many people right now that are our age, late 40s, 50s, that are still dealing with something they did in their 30s because of an addiction. You
Yeah,
punched a guy and you shattered his orbital and he's got partial blindness and you have to pay him every month. Like people are still paying for DUIs. You got 2 DUIs when you were 25 and 29. Well, yeah, that's going to, like, a lot of that shit follows you, and to have the forethought to be like, until I don't want to get there. So let's just stop this now. And even if
yeah.
it
I mean,
means like a
I
couple people
know
boo me, whatever.
a person that killed a person from drunk driving. They're
Jesus Lord.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate right there. I mean, do what you want to yourself all the time, but so that is gotta be difficult. I mean, I did a lot of damage to other people with my gambling, specifically my mom, who is probably one of the most pure souls that ever existed on this planet, and I still did that, and there's certain things that I was able to reconcile before she passed away, but there were things that I wasn't. And so that's stuff that, those are repercussions. I mean, I wish that when I was younger, I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be. And there were signs there for sure, especially my early college years, which were in that. But I just kind of blew through those stop signs, just like,
Yeah.
yeah, figure this out.
I feel like
And
that's
I
something
remember,
an alcoholic would be telling a cop. I saw them there, but they would slow me down. So I blew through those.
yeah, yeah. And what I said at the beginning is from a real example. There was a person that I knew well that was like a family friend, and they had millions of dollars and they gambled it away. And this is before I even knew I had anything close to gambling. I just, if I look back, I could see signs that I was gambling was my thing, But I remember hearing that story and being like, what a fucking idiot, And then now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, no, I get it. Like but yeah, it would be nice to stop. I think you just saying that and me, I agree with you too. Is like, oh yeah, but there were these times, like there's times when I gambled that was fun and I did this and I wouldn't have done that because of that. That is that addict brain that we have where we're just like, we weren't stopping at 17 or 18, 19, 20 or whatever, So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you got married, you give flasks out, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Barely remember that. It was that was quite a time. I mean, I definitely, what's interesting is we were our friend is fostering a dog and she needed us to watch the dog. So we were foster parents for a foster parent today for a dog. Shout out Tony Danza, super cute. And I was watching and walking the dog, and I had this thought like 3 hours ago. It's weird you said that I was like, I want to do like a side pet project where it's called Al Jackson Can't Remember His Life, and I want to have my friends like you on, and
Mhm.
tell a story or two and just like help me put together like time and space. Because that thing that Frankie Muniz said like 10 years ago that he doesn't remember most of his life. And everybody's like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, I have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't, you know me, I don't remember anything. But if you
Yeah.
bring it up, my recall, I'm right there.
I have a buddy Maurice that I went to college with too, and he's and that you and him the same thing. He's always like, "Oh yeah, you remember that? I don't remember." Like he's in the same thing, and
But does he remember it
my
after
knowledge.
you bring it up?
Yeah, no, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell a story and he'll remember it." And he's like, you man got a good memory." And to my knowledge, he's never had any issues with drinking or drug, anything. So I don't even think it's that. I just think it's some people are. That's just how it is,
Right.
Um, but yeah, you don't even remember that, like, when we were in the car and you guys were all freestyling, and I was like that was, like, one of the whitest I've ever felt, where I was just like and I love hip hop and rap and stuff,
Yeah.
but you guys kept throwing it to me. I'm like, "I am not freestyling in a car full of black men." And, like, it was me, you, Oddly, and I forget who else. There was one other Ronnie wasn't there yet. He came later. There was another guy in the car with us that would have been part of your wedding, but I don't know. But,
Maybe
but
Donnie.
Donnie, yeah, it was Donnie. Yeah, and you guys just put on beats and freestyled. I'm like, not for me. I'm not gonna guys. You had shit. First of all, freestyle is being generous. You guys, none of you guys are, J. Cole or anything. Like it was
No,
like
we're
it
not.
just
Wasn't great.
it was stuff you had memorized. You're like, here we go.
No, no, no,
And,
no. I guarantee you, it was stuff we did not memorize. I guarantee
oh
you that.
really? Oh, it was pretty good then.
Never.
I remember it being pretty solid. I was like, all right.
No,
Um,
no, no. That was never. That would never, never. No,
yeah.
because
All
that's how
right.
we used to
Well,
like mentally. It's weird that we used to use freestyle. I'm sure like somebody could do a PhD in Harvard about like actually freestyling, but we used to freestyle on the like we as soon as we would get to the club, especially when we were broke, we'd have a bottle with us, and as we were drinking the bottle, we would put beats on like sitting out. You could see the nightclub, and we would freestyle, and it kind of like woke you up. Like our, it was just like a way. I don't think we did it
mm,
intentionally, but just like it kind of like started the night. So we did it all the time, but we still weren't that good.
yeah. I was impressed. I thought it was good.
You
I
are
mean,
our Rick Rubin.
we were in rural Indiana in a car, so the bar was
Yeah.
low where we were.
Can you
But
imagine if a police officer pulled that car over? That's like that. Yeah, he's definitely ahead on the policeman's ball chart. It's like who's got the most? I arrested a four topper, three black guys and a white guy from Miami. He counts as half.
I would have gotten us out of it. I would have used my white privilege and stuff. I've ever
Y-
told you that story about Orlando and I got pulled over at the airport, the LAX.
No.
Um, and if you've never been to LAX, it's the worst airport in the country. Try and avoid it. It might have been one of the worst airports in the world. Orlando's pretty bad too, but it's just built
I
like
hate
shit. And
Orlando.
I was doing a set at the Comedy Magic Club, and so I told Orlando I'd give him a ride to the airport is on the way, and then either he was going to be late for his flight or I was going to be late for my show, whatever. We're like up against it, and so you can cut through in the airport, like it's a big
Yes.
horseshoe, and you can cut through there's a little. And we did one of those cut throughs, and the light was like turning red, and I was still like 25 feet, and I just took the turn, and I like if I would have went, I like pulled onto the side to drop him off, like we did it, and there was a cop right there at the stoplight, and just like, woo, and then came over, was like, yeah, I need your licenses. It came to both sides of the cars. And Orlando said, he goes, I've never seen anybody talk to a cop the way you talk to him. Cause I go, yeah, can you let us know what it is? I'm in a hurry or whatever. Like in Orlando, for those listening, Orlando is Dominican. He's very brown. And so he's not used to like talking to cops like we're on a schedule here, buddy. Let's go. And
That's
I was so
insane.
I was using and they both took our IDs on either side of the car because I said my friend here has got a flight to catch, and they go, "No, we need to check his ID too," because I guess that's
Why did
routine
they
when they
need to
stop
say?
them. I guess because it's probably my guess is it's probably protocol when you're a cop. If you pull a car over, you don't just let somebody get out of the car and walk away, because then the story
Oh,
would be like, and that guy was the Golden State serial killer. And you're like, you
that
had
makes
him. Like
sense. Yeah.
it's I'm assuming it's just protocol. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you pull a car over, you're not like sure, go on your way. So to be fair to them. So they go, can I have your ID? And I go, yeah. And they go, sir, can I have your ID too? And Orlando's like, oh, okay. And he just complies, gives it to him. They come back like 2 minutes later, and one of them goes, I'm so sorry, to like Orlando. He goes, I'm so sorry. I called you sir, and I didn't know that was incorrect and whatever. And we're like, what the fuck? And he goes, and they go, anyways, look, he goes, next time you got to obey the red lights in here. Next time we're going to give you a warning, blah, 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 whatever. And that's it. And then they left, and I'm on the curb with Orlando. He's going to get his bag. And I go, what the hell was that about? And Orlando looks at his ID, his California ID, which he maybe had a year, and he never noticed that there was a misprint on there that said he was a female. And so being, when wokeness helps you, if you want to use the term woke, if that was any other city, we would have been put in jail. Like if we were in Oklahoma, we would have been in prison. But in LA, they were like, we are so sorry. Like the cops are like, it's like pronouns are a big deal.
And we were like, they got in their car and they were like, that bitch was ugly.
Well, he did have the long hair. It was like cool, he has like, it's kind of pulled into a thing, but he looked like, I don't know. It's just, it helped us. And we were like, wow. And I was like, that was awesome. Orlando doesn't have the type of act to do that on stage. Really, it's not really he doesn't really get, but man, it's such a great story. And I don't even know how I got off on that. It was the white privilege getting pulled over. It was just, I was like, let's step on it, guys. I got a 9-minute set to do in Hermosa Beach. $75. So,
oh God.
No, but shout out to Comedy Magic Club, to be fair. Love it. It's probably my favorite club in LA. Did you ever do that when you were here?
Comedy? Yeah, I've done it like 24 times. Yes.
I don't know what. Yeah, I know you live near there.
Have I ever done it? Like I'm an open micer from New Phoenix, North Dakota, and I've never done it. I've caught some sets in LA, buddy.
I've barely done the Laugh Factory, and I've lived here for 13 years. I just don't go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I've probably
done 2 sets ever done the Laugh Factory.
I've done more sets at the Long Beach Laugh Factory than the one in Hollywood. It's just not a club that I've ever. I don't know. You just, I go where they want me. Laugh Factory.
Yeah, you gotta pick your, go where, like you said, go where people want you, because like you got to put in time in certain clubs, and it's like at this age we don't have time to like hang out.
Too old.
Like, all right, dude, you're way too old.
Too old. Comedy Magic, great food. They take care of you, give your set. Everybody knows your name there. It's like sing the Cheers theme song now. Richard, who books and runs it, is the man. He's just like a gem of a human. Good times. If you're ever in LA, go down to Hermosa Beach. Also, just go there. You're going to be in Hermosa Beach. You're going to want to move there. Every time I drive in there, I'm like, maybe I'll get a place here. And then you go on Zillow, and you're like, I will not be getting a place here.
I will. Zillow is just like,
but it's a stone throws from the water. We were talking about something before we started recording.
Well, yeah, I just said, and I mean, we don't have to beat this to death, but I would be interested to know. I know that there's the traditional addictions that we've talked about, and in the Venn diagram of addictions, I don't think it crosses over with cults. But if it does, knock on wood, this Trump regime eventually break up, whether it's that he dies or people go to jail or the combination of 2 or 3. We always look at the people at the top, but it's the people at the bottom. It's almost like if you hawked an MLM for 10 years, and over the course of those 10 years, trying to sell your family Cutco knives, you alienated all your friends, all your family, kind of ripped them off. And how do you go about piecing your life back together? And I wonder how closely that will mirror what will happen hypothetically with the MAGA folks, because a lot of these are people that probably haven't spoken to children, their kids, in years. They've only talked to a certain small subset of people on Facebook in all caps. And how do we, but I would think the mechanics of accepting, like maybe like dad was a mean alcoholic for 10 years. How do I, as his son, begin to accept this man back into my heart. I wonder how many Americans are going to have to do that, or at least try to do that with family members that maybe once this cult breaks up, see the error of their ways. I'm sure it happened to a lesser extent with QAnon. Remember how crazy those people were? People like, I would read Reddit threads, and it would be people like, I was married to my accountant husband, and 2 months into QAnon, he's staying up all night doing blow, trying to interpret, when the next drop is going to be, and calling our kids agents of the state. Like, this happened to like regular
Yeah.
people. And so a lot of MAGA people were regular people, maybe at least just on the surface, but they appeared like that. So they had friends like that. So I'm very curious to see like how many people will try, and how many people that want to be reacclimated into society will be accepted.
Well, I think that's going to be like a two-way street, because I mean, if you want to put it in terms of addiction, what I see on like social media is that there are influencers on both sides that are addicted to being that in this,
Yes.
like, and they wouldn't, on the left side, the liberal side, let's say, whatever, non-Trump,
I mean,
non-MAGA
I think
side.
you said, I
But
think you meant to say strong side. You cannot
yeah,
replace
strong
Billy
side.
Bertier.
Yeah, Gary Bertier cannot replace a Gary Bertier. If you don't know what we're talking
Gary
about, watch
Bertier, yeah.
Remember the Titans. If you haven't seen that
Yeah.
movie yet, what's wrong with you?
If you haven't seen it
Denzel.
yet, it came out 30 years ago.
Should have seen it. I mean, all-star I mean, obviously Denzel's at the top of that, but then I forget the guy that plays the second guy. He's in everything. He's in Armageddon. What's that guy's name?
Yeah.
He's a good actor. But then you've got like a young Ryan Gosling. You got man, I'm bad with actors' names. The guy from The
Something,
Wire.
yeah, something Wood. Yeah. Is
Yeah,
his last name. But
yeah.
I do like, you can't say all-star cast, Denzel Washington, then that other guy. Like, you gotta have like 3 or 4 ready
Ryan
to go.
Gosling's in it. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
young kid in that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
You just can't cover him. He's not good. And also, that's what's her name? I don't remember the names. The daughter is famous too. She's
Yeah.
Hayden
Sorry, who's the daughter
Panettiere,
of Remember the Titans?
Hayden Panettiere or whatever, Panettiere or however
Oh,
you say her name.
Kate who? Kate Bosworth.
Oh, was that Kate Bosworth?
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to IMDb this after I was about to go into a whole thing like that?
Wood Harris is the black guy from The Wire. Wait, or she said Hannah Pierre. Who?
Hayden Panettiere, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I
she
don't know how you
said.
say her name. She was in a
Hey,
bunch of stuff, and then she married like a very wealthy producer, and I think she just called it quits. Donald Faison, how do we forget him?
yeah.
He's in it. Yeah. Will Patton is Coach Yost. Denzel Washington, Wood Harris, Donald Faison, Hayden Panettiere, however you say her name. I don't know. Kate Bosworth is in it. Yeah. Oh, Kate Bosworth's like the racist girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's yeah, Gary Bertier's girlfriend. By the
Yeah.
way, the picture Ryan Hurst is Jerry Bertier. He looks, I don't know what he did in, but he looks sexy in his photo there. Yeah, Ryan Gosling, etc. I'm clicking on Ryan Hurst here. He's looking good. Not that he was a bad looking dude, but um, it says renowned for Remember the Titans lady, but we were soldiers. Rango, he's doing some voice actors. Get it,
Yeah.
get it,
Rango is like
Gary.
a cartoon, I think.
Yeah, I know he's doing some voiceover, but the influencers, I see it on both sides, and there's a couple of people that I think are really smart, like on like the left side, let's say, that I've seen and they have good takes, if you want to say, but I believe it becomes this addiction now. And I don't think, I'm not saying that they're not doing anything and helping people, but I do think that they're quick to rush out there, and sometimes there might even be misinformation on their end, for sure,
Absolutely.
and I think that the one thing I see over and over is I'm always like, and social media addiction is a whole episode that I would love to do at some point, but with like an expert on it. But there's sometimes people will be like, well, it's too late. Like, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, too late now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying you have to welcome her with open arms, but this whole thing of like, fuck this person is like, well, no, they're doing the thing you want them to do. They're coming out of this haze and this cloud, and they're doing the thing you want them to do. So I'm not saying you have to be like, you're the best person in the world, but there can't just be like, fuck that person. What, either you want them to do that or you don't. That's my point,
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to be met with a lot of resistance that way. And I think there isn't a good analogy there for addiction, because because man, there's a lot of damage that's being done right now in our country with its administration, everything that's going on. But you know, it's, I mean, there's no hope for some of these people, like the Hegseths and the gnomes and stuff like that. They've
Yeah,
quadrupled and quintupled that.
gone.
And like
They're
now
gone.
at a certain
Yeah.
point, yeah. But I don't know. I
I mean, it is kind of similar to addiction now that we're kind of talking it up in that like any addiction, it ostracizes you from your family. You then kind of create a new fake family. It's like I started drinking again now. Forrest and Sarah don't talk to me no more. But my friend here, Mike, I think he's cool. So you have a new friend, a group of coke headed drinking bar dive friends. You don't talk to your family anymore. You're spending a lot of your money that you shouldn't have. You lose a lot of money. MAGA people lost it because they get scammed all the time from within their own sect.
yeah,
And now with tariffs and shit like that, it really does mirror in a lot of ways constantly. And it also makes you go back on things that you would never have thought you would ever like the idea. Because right now, whether they'll say it or not, a lot of people that are, knee deep in the mega cult are constantly wrestling with like, even if he is in the files, like the idea that there would have been a
yeah,
time in your life 20 years ago where I'd have
bargaining.
been
They're
like,
bargaining.
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna bring my friend Mike over. He was involved in a few sex scandals with children, but he's cool at a barbecue. There's no way that person would have like crossed the precipice of your doorway. But now, because these people have been in this for 12 years now, if not more, pushed all their chips in, said, "You're my new family, MAGA. You're my new daddy, Donald Trump." And now that is crumbling, now the way to kind of save it is just be like, maybe those girls are lying. Maybe the Democrats are making this a big deal. And I mean, I do think that there's a lot of that going on too, because the outrage about like how these people used to talk about that was the way that they used to animate this base. That was the way that they got people to go to that pizza shop with an AK-47. That was the initial premise behind QAnon. There is a cabal of global leaders that are predatorizing children, and they were somewhat right. And now they
Yeah.
can't even take their victory lap because that victory lap would be on top of the people that they have idol worshipped for 15 years. So what a mind F this has been for them.
Yeah, that's another thing you always say is like, well, yeah, Bill Clinton's going to be there and this and that. And it's like, I don't know anybody that voted for Bill Clinton that's like, oh, well, then I don't want it released. It's just like,
Yeah.
I voted for Bill Clinton. I'm like, then he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, then he's got, like, I'm not like, nah, like it's this weird justification. And I think it is, there's a lot of like analogy. I thought it works, I think, because it's all part of it. I mean, I talk about on this podcast a lot. It's like alcohol, drugs, gambling. I talk a lot about. I've talked about food, cigarettes, things like that. But this is all part of that. The internet, And I don't know. It's not addiction to internet, but it's this the whole culture that it's created and the world it's created and the addiction of being on it, looking at it, commenting, having somebody like that comment or engaging. Oh, that person's a piece of shit, and then that person dogpiling on that. Yeah, now I'm in part of this group, and then and that's like all part that, and that is addictive. And
Yeah.
I think that that's a big problem. And I mean, man, it just keeps going. I was talking about on the last episode this Kalshi, this gambling.
Yeah.
It's like
Where you can gamble on anything. Yeah.
yeah, it's called what is that term that it's used? It's man, the poly markets they call them, and but also you're not then it's not even gambling, it's unregulated. It's completely unregulated. It's not regulated by the stock market, even though they pretend like they're a stock market. It's not regulated by any of the gambling, the industries, the groups that would regulate gambling and stuff. And so just anything can happen on it, and that's like, are they going to get a hold of that? I don't think so. They haven't even figured out like how to like regulate porn on the internet. And that's been around since day one on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And they're
Right.
just like, yeah, I guess this, some of the states now you got to put in an ID And then so then
Yeah.
the porn site's like, we're not putting porn in the state. I guess that sort of works. And those are all states that I probably wouldn't agree with the governments, except for the porn thing. I kind of get. I don't have kids, but I don't think it should be okay for a kid that's 12 to just log on to YouPorn, see some fisting videos like first thing in the morning, you know. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
like with this corrupt government, are you telling me that that
yeah.
wouldn't be used against you? Oh, here's your civil rights leader Forrest Shaw getting off to a little anime anal.
Oh, but putting in your ID, 100%. Yeah, I don't think that's the right answer either. That's my point. Is like that's like the OG part of the internet that they're like, oh, we'll figure out how to get to this sometime. So this shit, like social media commenting, like AI stuff, like whether it's real or fake or misinformation or this all this shit that is like that people are addicted to looking at their phones. Like I
Oh,
got this
absolutely.
this Apple Watch now to try and get off of my phone more, which is just, it's almost like saying, like I'm only going to smoke a little crack, but
Yeah.
because it's still a phone on my wrist. But what it's allowing me to do is not have my phone in a lot of places that I normally have it, and I would be playing like what is that, Clash Royale or whatever I love to fucking play on there, like some stupid game. And when you're just sitting there with a watch on, you're not really looking, you don't look at it, and you start looking around and everybody's looking at their phone, and you're like, oh, we're fucked. And um people are, using it at a red light. They're gambling at a red light with their phones, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
don't know if I think it's all related to that is what I'm saying. I don't think we have to be like, oh, it seems analogous. And it seems like I think it's all part of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you say this to me all the time. It's like it seems like there's a lot of people out there that are mentally unwell, like mental health issues. A lot more people than we say, or a lot more people than the number is higher than we think. What do you always talk about this?
The doctor on
Um,
our TV show, straight from her mouth, she said 90 to 95% of people have some undiagnosed mental health disorder. And I know people like 95. I'm not talking about like the kind of mental health where you're at a bus stop dressed in rags saying you're Jesus Christ, but just if you think about like narcissists, sociopaths, kleptos, uh, uh, sex addicts, compulsive liars, compulsive gamblers, compulsive drinkers, uh, 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 drug addicts, people that believe that lizards and believe in lizard people. I know one personally. He's an extremely successful businessman, and he believes 10 toes down, no BS, that a significant part of the population has lizards living inside of them, of our vessels that are 50 feet tall. There are people that believe that angels can talk to them. There are people that there's the things that people believe. Just because like you look and you're at a stoplight and you're like, oh, there's a cute blonde next to me. You don't know, like you don't know what her mind is seeing or thinking. And it's just like, I think all of us, the idea that we all have the perfect brain chemistry and everybody's just normal. Well, then what's all this news that we're seeing? I'm not saying that everybody's like that, but there's a lot of people that I think are struggling with their perception of reality, their perceived sense of self, and just all points in between. I think it makes more sense if you think about like what a delicate mix it is. It's almost like how many drinks in a night at a busy bar would the bartender say came out perfectly? I don't know. If he made 200 drinks, he'd say 11. Perfect. I would submit him in a competition. The rest didn't get returned. The rest,
mhm.
people drank them, but he'd be like, too much vermouth in that one. Oh, I forgot to put a pineapple in that one. There's always and then when you meet that person, you date them. You could date that person for 6 months and you're like, yeah, she kept, chicken bones under her bed. She thought that they warded off spirits. Like I know somebody that half married a chick like that. Like she would keep chicken bones um like cleaned bones, like to ward off
Yeah,
spirits. And she
yeah.
thought that worked, and she was dead serious. She's a normal person.
Why is it always lizard people? Why wouldn't it be like a cuter animal? You know,
Or like werewolves. That's way cooler. But I guess the lizards,
werewolves is
when they get
cooler.
to when they come out of our bodies, they're 50 feet tall, so they might be pretty imposing. So
But wait,
let's not
is
let's
it?
not knock it.
Oh, okay, so they can expand. Wait, so it's like in Men in Black when he's in the human body, but he's a bigger bug?
Yes. Hold on, I'm
Okay.
looking it up right now. Lizard
But is it
people.
multiple lizards or is it like just one lizard in the body?
I think it's just one. Um,
I like that I'm saying this. Like, what are the facts here? I just want the facts on lizard people. Like,
yeah. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find this right now. This can be edited out. But there was an article,
no.
I think, in the New York Times called "What Americans Believe," and it
Mm.
went through um, all of the like how many people right now in this country, Forrest, legitimately think that they're the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Oh, I mean,
A
lots of
couple
them.
million.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, definitely a couple million. And
By the
so
way,
there's
do you
like,
know who popularized the lizard people thing? This guy named David Icke, Icke. Maybe it's Icke or I don't know. Um, and or maybe it's Icke. He's an English conspiracy theorist, semi-professional footballer, sports journalist, and sports broadcaster. Has written over 20 books, self-published. That was a red flag. At some point, there's someone else is going to publish them for you. I'd say do a couple, try and get them out there. But spoken to more than 25 countries. Yeah, and is going to surprise you, but he had arthritis. He engaged in New Age philosophies and alternative medicines, and then visited by a psychic. Anyways, you can go to the
yes. Well,
Wikipedia. It's all
just
thing.
really quickly, I got this article. It says only 60% of Americans believe in evolution. More than half of Americans don't believe in the Big Bang Theory. 46% of Americans are confident. Only 46% of Americans are confident that vaccines don't cause autism.
How
Um,
many?
46%.
No.
Only 46%. That, bro, do you know where you live? Where do you think they pulled these numbers? 41% of Americans believe that humans and dinosaurs coexisted. 26% of Americans think we gained independence from a country other than Great Britain.
What are you
Half
reading
of
this from now? Because I don't. I think those numbers are wrong.
this is on earthday.org. It's a place that gathers it's a place that gathers stats. More than a third of Americans
Yeah, well, I
believe
think I,
aliens
'cause
exist.
I just looked up these numbers. These still aren't great numbers, but this says 13% of adults believe in the U.S. believe certain vaccines can cause autism, while about half are unsure.
That's
So
what
I
it said.
think what they're doing,
Unsure.
yeah. So I think they're lumping. That doesn't mean that they believe it, but that's still not great. But there's 13% that are sure, 36% that are sure it doesn't, and then there's half. The other 50% is like, I don't know. But that I kind of like that's a lazy, just kind of I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna look, but still not
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
45% of Americans believe in ghosts. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, 37% believe that the FDA is intentionally withholding natural cures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like more than a fourth of Americans believe the sun revolves around the earth. I
I
mean,
believe that vaccines.
you've been in this country, dog. Oh, here's the last one. 19% of Americans believe humans will be able to control the weather within a few decades.
19%.
20. So when
That's in
you're
my act
in,
now.
yeah, when you're in line and there are five people behind you, one of them thinks that.
Oh, I know. I have a couple friends that you've met before there's one that's certain that there's weather machines the government are controlling. It's in my show because it's like they talk about like there's these machines that cause the fires in Maui and the ones in LA in 2025, and then they could steer hurricanes and stuff like that. And the crazy thing is that they'll believe that nonsense, but then they don't believe that climate change exists, something that is like actually proven to exist. And the even crazier thing is the reason that all these weathers are changing is because the ocean is actually an engine that controls the weather, and we fucked it up. So technically there is a machine that controls the weather. It's called the ocean. It doesn't control it, but it's the engine that runs the weather, that creates currents and heats the earth and cools the earth, Um, and we're fucking that up, which is in turn. So they're not 100% wrong. Al. There is a machine, and we are
Yeah.
kind of controlling it, but it's just out. It's like when you turn on the hose and it starts flying around everywhere. That's
Yeah.
we've turned on the ocean. We've changed the ocean machine. And it's just flicking around like a fire hose and nobody holding on to it, just doing whatever it wants. But the you said something else. Oh, vaccines. This is what I believe. Vaccines cause racism. Have I told you this theory?
No.
Well, I believe that that like okay, the average age before modern medicine, vaccines, things like that people live to was like 39, 38, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like usually generation. If you think about the generations that are alive now, the younger generation, your kids even lower than that are like so much more empathetic, I
Oh
believe.
yeah.
And I have hope for the future based on those younger generations that the older generations want to call soft or gay or whatever name they want to call, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I have hope that they'll psych up. But imagine if everybody that was 40 and over was just dead because we didn't have vaccines, and modern medicine. And then like it would be I'm not saying racism wouldn't exist, but there would be, I think the percentage of people that are quote unquote prejudiced racist would be tilted the other way. And
Yeah.
I believe, and I believe that on top of that, when these people that like what happens is you turn 50 and 60 and stuff, you're always, I do it all the time. I don't do it like about race, but I'm just like, oh, I remember when we used to have VCR. You're always doing that, harkening back to when you were younger. And so there's
Yeah.
people that are harkening back. They're like, I remember when black people weren't allowed to drink out of the same water fountain. And that wasn't a problem. They had their own water fountain. They were happy with it,
Yeah.
and they're they're still teaching that to some of the younger kids. So that prolongs it. Whereas, back in the day, if someone was like, I don't, Quakers, you know what they say about Quakers? They're always loud in movie theaters. I don't know what the fuck they said about Quakers,
Yeah.
but whatever it was. And then they'd be like, that's grandpa. He's not going to survive the winter. Don't worry about it. But now he does. He fucking lives until he's 85 and spits his stupid lizard people bullshit conspiracy stuff out. So as much as I love science and modern medicine vaccines, I do believe they are going to be the end of us.
We've kept the herd a little bit fuller than we maybe should have.
Yeah. We need less vaccine. So I'm kind of cool with this RFK new hey, let's stop doing I'm all vaxxed up. I got them all. I got all my vaccines. I got the ones my dog gets. I said give those to me too. Just throw them in there. Just shoot them in. And cat vaccines, you got a vaccine, you can shoot it into my eyeball.
Hand it over. I'll take all the ones y'all don't want with my woke
Squirt it
ass.
down my throat. Didn't mean to make it sound like that, but
Yeah.
what were we talking about?
Well,
Gary
just
Bertier.
the addiction part of MAGA and the difficulty that will be found with leaving that, especially when you have to leave something and it's not on your own volition. I saw when I was helping people to stop drinking, there was really two large tents that broke down into smaller tents, but they're the people that were ready to stop drinking, but just didn't know what life would look like if they stopped drinking. And the other tent of people that wanted to keep drinking, but legally couldn't, or their wife was like, hey, motherfucker, it's me, or, so they had to stop drinking, but they still wanted to. And I think that there are people that have decommissioned themselves from MAGA, but I'm wondering what's it going to be like when it's ripped away from the people and it's all they have. It's their entire identity. I wonder like what will happen and kind of who, almost like the carpetbaggers, what scamster will come and collect those people up and how will they go about doing that? I'm very curious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of people kicking and screaming and stuff. What you said that when you were helping people not drink, you don't do that anymore?
Not as much. A lot of the people that I helped they stopped drinking. I'm not going to say any names, but over a dozen men and one woman who actually, it was like a really beautiful day. She sent me a thank you text on her 4th anniversary of being sober, and I was at my daughter's high school graduation when that happened. Like, yeah, so it's like a lot of the people, I went and just saw one of my friends, who who I helped get sober, and I saw him when I was in Seattle. He's still doing his thing, doing great, married to a very successful woman, and they have two beautiful children. They have a dope crib in Seattle. I'm like, yeah, did it. We came a long way from getting drunk together on Culver Boulevard, walking down to 90 West and watching you fall into thorn bushes. Like, he fixed his
How,
life.
how,
And
how
so, like,
many how many hints are you gonna give out? We know it's Sam Darnold. All right.
yeah, right. Shout out to him, shutting all the haters up. Shit. Oh man.
Well,
Woo.
I only asked that because I know you're not a 12-step guy. That wasn't you didn't do that. But that one of the things is be of service. That's like it's not a step. It's just like one of the I think, and the last guest I had on, Dan Duvall, he was talking about how good that makes you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like of being of
Yeah.
service, like being helping other people, which also in turn helps yourself do that stuff. So don't not do that anymore because all the people I'm sure
Yeah.
there's still people
I,
that
I'm
and
totally down. Maybe I'll like re-send out that siren call. Like, hey man, if you ever want to talk, I'm here.
people reach out from this podcast all the time. So you never know. Maybe somebody
I'm in these streets. Al Jackson IG. We talked about it earlier.
yeah. And then you can listen to watch or listen. Do you guys do audio version of your podcast too?
We did. I just have to re-upload them. I've been slacking, but yeah, we do. We do have follow us on. We're on Spotify and Apple. Just Friends from Work podcast.
And I've been on a couple episodes.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
You're good. Like for real, straight up. Like I love having you on.
What do the fans say?
The fans, a couple, like they're not called fans; they're called colleagues. So yeah, the colleagues.
Oh,
They
really?
want
Is
you
that
to
what
come
you
back
call
on.
your
Yeah,
listeners? Colleagues?
yeah, colleagues. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I like that. That's good.
yeah.
Well, watch Friends from Work, the Friends from Work show on YouTube. You go Friends from Work show. That's their handle. I have a link to it. Whether you're watching me on YouTube or listening on audio, there's a link there. You can go check out Al Jackson stand up. You got any dates coming up?
Yeah, I'll be in Hartford this weekend. I don't know when this is coming out, and then
This is coming out. This is coming out on the 24th February.
Oh, so all my dates will be on my Instagram, Al Jackson IG. So I can't see that far in the future, but my girlfriend can. So she'll make a. I'll make a flyer and she'll put the right dates and times on there.
Don't you mean your colleague?
My colleague.
Yeah.
My colleague who I love.
Go check out Al. I started comedy with Al in Miami, and yeah, he's one of the funniest guys I know. And yeah, I wouldn't be where I'm at in comedy without you. Like I linked up with the right crew in Miami. A lot of them aren't doing comedy anymore, but some still are. Who is?
Right.
Me, you. Neri's still doing comedy. He's mainly cruise ships. Neri Signs.
Neri, Lisa Correo still doing comedy.
Lisa Correo. Go check out her
Yeah.
special. Came out last week or came out 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I'm supposed to have Lisa on the pod. I'm glad you said that. I'm supposed to have her on to promote. So I'll text her right after we get off.
Yeah. Hit up Lisa Correo. But yeah, go check out Al Jackson. And thanks as always for being on the podcast, buddy.
Dude, love you, brother. See you soon.
Thanks again to Al Jackson for being on the podcast. Go out and check him out. Listen to his podcast. Watch his podcast. I am currently in Adelaide, Australia, South Australia, and I will be here for a little less than a week. I'll be at the Howling Owl in Adelaide at part of the Fringe Festival, 7:15 p.m. every night. Hopefully it's sold out by now. Odds are it isn't, but who knows? Maybe things have caught fire. Next week, I'll be in Melbourne, Australia, at the Comics Lounge. I'll be there March 4th through the 7th. But March 7th is when I really want you to come out to the Ocean Hates You show. If you can't make it that night, come out to one of the other nights. I'll be doing stand-up. And then I'm back in America, USA. March 16th through the 22nd, I'll be at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. I'm doing some shows with Jim Jeffries in Dallas and Austin and Portland and Seattle. Those are all in March and April. I'll be at Harvey's Casino in Lake Tahoe, April 3rd through the 5th. So if you're in the Lake Tahoe area, come out, check me out. And then I'll be in Florida. I'm doing the Ocean Hates You show at the Comedy Inn on April 22nd. That's Earth Day. I'll be at the Green Turtle Inn, April 24th and 25th. That's in Almirada, Florida. I've got some other dates with Jim Jeffries. I got some other dates locally here. It's all on forestshaw.net on my website there. And if you feel like donating to the podcast, you can there too on the podcast channel. All the money goes to these podcasts. It all goes in here. And that's it. I think that's it. Oh, thanks. You know what? I had not checked in a while, and I have you could call and leave messages here, and I think I played one of them, but there was another message here from Maggie in Chicago. She said I could play it here. It was from December 3rd, and I'm sorry I didn't check it in time, and I've already gone to Chicago and did my shows. It said you're going to try and get tickets. If you came to the show, you didn't say hi, but that's fine. You didn't have to. If you came out, I hope you enjoyed it. It was in Oak Park, Illinois. So it might have been far away from you. But I have this phone number here if anybody ever wants to call it. I might not. Maybe I'm not. Well, I don't know. It's fumbling through the end here. I don't remember. It's 305 Joe Rang. +1 is the area, is the country code. 305 and then JOERANG. Whatever that comes out to the digits. What is it? It's 5 6 3 7 2 6 4. I was having to figure that out as I said that. It's pretty impressed by myself. Maybe this will catch on. No one's really called in, and I get it. It's an addiction podcast. Maybe this was a bad idea to have the phone numbers. All I wanted to say is that I saw your message, Maggie. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. Michael, I addressed your call before. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate everybody that's listening to the podcast. Please tell friends or anybody that you think might be interested in this podcast. We're coming up on a year. The next episode will be my 52nd episode. Exciting. It's by myself. Just did a little one by myself. I'll talk to you guys next week. Love y'all.